Hey, this is Dr. Brian Atkins with the Atkins Academy. Wanted to take the opportunity to talk a little bit about ADN versus BSN programs. So, definitely, when we talk about the space of nursing right now, it's definitely important that you are a skilled nurse. A lot of hospitals want you to be a skilled nurse, and so certainly you have different levels of nursing, and so with that you have the medical assistants, you have the CNAs, um, you have the kind of the LVNs, the licensed vocational nurses, but certainly there's also the next level of getting into the ADN level, right? So being a registered nurse, and so that's at the ADN level or the BSN level, the Bachelor's of Nursing. Okay, but now in addition to that, you do have the next level, which is the master's degree, right? And so certainly with the master's degree, you can be a nurse practitioner, certainly work in more environments, and so be even a more specialized nurse. And certainly that's when you get into the certified nurse anesthetist level, or the midwife nursing levels and things, right? The mid levels. And then you can even become a doctorate, get your DNP, your doctorate of nurse, and so become a nurse practitioner at the doctorate level. And so with that, should you do the ADN or the BSN? And which one should you do? Why should you do one versus the other? Okay, so here's the story on that, and here's what we'll kind of talk about a little bit more there. And that is that I can tell you most hospitals around the country are kind of getting rid of LPNs and LVNs. If in fact, I think in California they've totally gotten rid of LVNs and LPNs in the hospital. So certainly, like I said, you want to get to that next level of being an RN. But do you have to go directly from being an MA or CNA and bridge over to the BSN or something like that? A lot of students who call me have a little bit um, of concern with understanding exactly what they can and can't do, because a lot of the schools and the counselors tell you that you have to, do your LPN, do your CNA, do your LPN, and then go bridge over, and they don't really know what that means, right? Does that mean going and get your RN, and does that mean at the bachelor's level or the associate's level, or just what, right? And so with that, the reality is that you don't have to do that. And then even more so, stick with me to the end, I'll show you that you don't have to even go and get your BSN first. Okay, you don't have to go and get your BSN. Okay, and so with that, I'll say this is that the hospitals do want you to have your BSN. Okay, wait a minute, isn't that contradictory? You said don't go and get the BSN, but the hospitals want me to have a BSN. I agree, right? And so definitely, at some point you want to get your BSN, but here's the thing: you don't want to pay for it. Okay. And so let's talk about, and let's kind of put all this together, right? You have to recognize that a lot of these schools are out there to make money, right? And so they are making lots of money, right? So charging you all $100,000 or even more for nursing school as you go through and become an MA for 30,000, become an LPN for 30,000, right? Do your ADN for another 30,000, do your BSN for another 30,000. You add up the numbers and you start realizing that that's over $100,000, right? So let me show you a different way where you can pay less than say $20,000, and actually make money in the process and make money along the way. Okay. And so if you are right now, let's say you're in high school, or you are a medical assistant, or a medication tech or something like that, and you've thought about going into nursing school, you've thought about getting into the profession, right? And you really want to be in the hospital, right? Well, if that is the case, then here's one thing you may want to consider doing. Instead of going and getting your CNA, instead of going and getting your LPN, just go take the prerequisites. The prerequisites are general chemistry, general biology, anatomy and physiology, right? College English, college math, right? And so here's the trick, right? So go and do the prerequisites for less than say $500, right? And so $100 a class or something like that, right? You can do that at your local community college. You don't have to go into these very expensive LPN and CNA programs, right? You don't have to do that. Now, let's say that you don't really know what you want to do. You're still on the fence about what you want to do. You're still kind of contemplating whether or not you should go into nursing. Then sure, start with the CNA level, right? Start with the LPN or MA level or something like that, right? But definitely don't pay $30,000 for it, right? Find a program where you're paying $2,000 or $3,000 for it, right? Not 30,000. I mean, that's just ridiculous, right? There are still programs out there where you can do it for 8,000, right? And so with that, you don't want to go take out a huge loan and you don't even know if you want to really go into nursing. Okay. And so with that, you can certainly, if you're kind of just want to dip your toe in the water, so to speak, then fine. Do the, do a CNA program, right? And you'll be able to work in assisted living facilities as a home health aide or something like that. In a sometimes psych wards and things like that, but certainly residential in a sometimes psych wards and things like that, but certainly residential assisted living facility jobs. Now, don't get me wrong. Yes, some people do with their CNA or LPN are able to work in a hospital, but for the most part, those jobs are kind of going by the wayside, I should say. But in addition to that, those who do have jobs in the hospital as an LPN or a CNA, most of the times they're going to have a pretty good amount of experience as well. They're not just hiring you fresh out of LPN school or CNA school directly into the hospital making $40 an hour. Just I mean, even in New York, it kind of doesn't work that way, right? So they're looking for people with experience. Okay, and so you can certainly get that experience in the assisted living facilities and all of that. But here's the thing: if you want to come right out of school and go start working in the hospital, get your RN. Okay. And so how do you get the hospital to pay for your RN? How do you get the hospital to pay for it and for you to get your BSN? Well, here's the thing. Like I said, start with the prerequisites, take the prerequisites, do well in the prerequisites. So again, general chemistry, general biology, anatomy, physiology, college English, college math, right? And then once you do well with those prerequisites, then go and take the TEAS test. Right, go and take the HESI exam. Right, so you figure out which check out the video from previous video. We talk about the TEAS versus the HESI, but go and look at the different schools ADN programs, right? That and see what they require. Do they require the ADN? Do they require the TEAS test, or do they require the HESI? Kind of get a sense of what do they require. Once you get a sense of what they require, what the school requires, then what you want to do is make sure that you do well with the TEAS or the HESI exam. That's what I do. I help you to prepare for the TEAS and HESI exams. Okay, and so the goal is to help you get into the 80s and 90s, right? And so a lot of people, go and take the prerequisites and not do so well with the prerequisites, and then not do so well with the TEAS test, and think that they have to start with an LPN program. You don't, right? So do well with the prerequisites and give me a call. I'm Dr. Brian Atkins. Okay, 301-960-4950 is my office line. You can give me a call. Okay. And so you can look in the link below as well. You can go to our website, atkinsacademy.com. Okay. But now with that, the goal would be to get your T score into the 80s and 90s. Once you get your T score into the 80s and 90s, then at that point, you will be very competitive. So you have a really good GPA, but also a really good T score. Then that would allow you to be eligible to get into the ADN and BSN programs. Now, once you're able to get your T score up there, get your HESI score or your HESI score up there, right, with a good GPA, then I can help you to get into an ADN program. And so part of my program, we also help you to source different schools and look at different schools as well. Okay. Um, and so with the different schools, I would say definitely choose and look at initially ADN programs. Here is why. Okay. So this is what you've been waiting for, right? And so with ADN programs, you do the ADN program, it's about a year, maybe 15 months or so, right? But anywhere from 9 months to about 15 months is what your ADN program is going to be, okay? Because you already have the prerequisites. So once you have the prerequisites, you pay like $500 to do the prerequisites, right? And so you have the ADN programs that can be 1 year or 2 years, right? And so if it's 2 years, it likely has the prerequisites wrapped into it. Don't pay again an additional year of tuition just to take the prerequisites, right? Just take the prerequisites on your own, right? For a lot cheaper, okay? And so just because they're rolled into the program, they're allowed to charge you more money because it's another semester or 2 semesters of tuition. So here's the trick. Go take the prerequisites on your own and then apply directly to an ADM program where you can start directly in the nursing program. And that nursing portion is 1 year, right? And so 12 months to 15 months or so, right? And so you can do the accelerated program at like 9 to 10 months or so, okay? But definitely go directly into that ADM program. Now, once you go into the ADM program, here's the thing. Once you graduate, you are a registered nurse. Not a part of a nurse, not a piece of a nurse. You are a registered nurse, right? You have to take the NCLEX. Yes, I know, right? Once you take the NCLEX, you are a registered nurse, right? With your associate's degree in nursing. You will definitely be in very high demand and you'll be able to find a job at any hospital. This is the stuff that they won't tell you at a lot of these schools, okay? And so you will be able to find a job in any hospital with your associate's degree, okay? And so that's why I say don't go and rush to get your BSN, spend 3 or 4 years in school, right? And not making money. Go do the prerequisites, do your associate's degree, get directly into an ADN program, okay? And then start practicing making money, right? And start doing what you love to do, okay? Which is caring for patients and taking care of patients. But while you're at it, also make money. Okay. And so here's the kicker with that is once you do that, you then get the hospital or you find a hospital that will actually pay for you to get your BSN because they want you to have your BSN. Yes, they almost a lot of hospitals actually require you to have your BSN. Okay. And so but they don't require you to have your BSN when they hire you. They require you to have your BSN within 3 to 4 years of joining that hospital. And so, even better, they're willing to pay for you to go back to school to get your BSN. Oh, by the way, while you're still working at the hospital, right? So while you're working at the hospital, making a pretty good salary, so 80, $90,000, right? You're also able to get them to pay for your BSN. And so now you're making money and they're paying for your BSN. Come on, now, no brainer, right? And so with that, you want to certainly do the ADN, right? Get a job in the hospital and then have them pay for your BSN. That way, you are not paying for it. Okay, and so that's one of the reasons why I say don't go and directly into a BSN program, right? But that's also why I say instead of paying so much money to go and do the CNA and the MA and LPN, just go do the prerequisites, right? Just if you know that you want to work in the hospital, you know that you want to really take it to the next level, just go do the prerequisites. What you're waiting on, right? General chemistry, general biology, right? Anatomy, physiology. But take a look at the ADM programs, right? And so give me a call. We'll work through it and show you the different schools and what do they require, right? And so once you get a sense of what they require, then let's get a sense of okay, well, what prerequisites do they require? Okay, well, go take those prerequisites. Right. Once you have the prerequisites for those schools, check them off the box, right? And then obviously do well on the T's or the HESI, and you can go directly into an ADM program. Okay. And so that's really key and that's really critical and exactly what you want to do. All right, make sense? Okay. And so with that, once you do have that RN, you have the hospital that's willing to pay for your BSN, right? Then go ahead and start working as a travel nurse, right? So once you may have to make a commitment to the hospital and do 3 years with them or 4 years or something like that with them, not a big deal, right? You're making money and getting experience along the way. Okay. And so with that, then what you want to do is you want to start working in your particular area of expertise or your particular area of interest, I should say. So I had a student just call me just about 2 hours ago, tell me she wants to do L&D. She really wants to do maternity ward. Well, great, right? And so as you are in nursing school, you have the ability to do certain electives, and so use those elective opportunities to do and work in a specialty that you may want to work in, right? Maybe even use an elective to do something that you thought you didn't want to work in, and maybe you go and do that elective, and you actually say, hey, I actually do like radiology. I do like critical care, right? So there's a lot of these specialties are in high demand, so you want to certainly find that, or pediatrics, right? And so with that, once you do that, then like I said, you can actually become a travel nurse if you wanted to, and the other thing is once you do get to that level, you can actually get the hospital to potentially pay for your master's degree. So if there is a demand at that hospital for a particular nurses at the nurse practitioner level or at the mid levels as they call them, then maybe the hospital might actually be willing to pay you money or pay not only pay you a salary but also pay for your reimburse you so to speak and essentially pay for your master's degree. So look for those opportunities where you're not coming out of your pocket to pay for these things, right? Let the hospital pay for it, right? And they need workers, they want you, right? And so make it a win-win-win situation for you and for them, right? And so look for that opportunity to do so. Okay, and so that's something that we want to just talk about today in terms of ADN programs versus BSN programs. The ADN programs are going to be a little bit longer, obviously more classes, more material, more research work that you have to do. However, like I said, if you're really looking to get into the hospital, and you don't want to spend 3 or 4 years kind of out of work, and some people can't afford to do that, then your best bet is to do the prerequisites and go directly into an ADN program and get your RN that way. Okay, and then obviously, like I said, have the hospital pay for you to get your BSN. Okay, and so definitely don't miss out on that opportunity. Okay. All right, but happy to answer any questions that you all have as well. Okay, and so we'll spend the rest of the time talking on another thing that is near and dear, to me and to my heart and to all of those whom I've helped. But that is really getting to that next level of the American dream, which is attaining real estate and attaining ownership. Right. So a lot of us work in hospitals, a lot of us work in nursing homes, or work in assisted living facilities, or more, right? And so with that, you as a nurse, you as a healthcare provider, you as a person who actually delivers the care, you do have the opportunity to own those spaces as well, right? And I don't mean just owning a house, but owning a business, right? And so you may want to own that business that's operating within that building, but in addition to that, consider owning that building as well. Right. And so with that, why should the other person, guy or gal, own the building when you can? Right. So when you look at doctors' offices, or facilities, for example, and so we'll talk about getting to hospitals as well. You can actually own the hospital building too. But let's talk about like these medical centers, right? And so there are the opportunities to actually own medical buildings and medical centers, right? And so it's a matter of putting the deal together and structuring the deal, especially if you know that there is a business, either your business or there's another business that would be able to occupy that space, right? And pay for the mortgage on the property, right? And so if you have a good track record, especially a good credit score, a good credit record, you're making pretty good money as a registered nurse, right? Then there are definitely loans and opportunities that you would be that will avail themselves to you, for you to purchase a building, right? Or purchase, in fact, so if you see like a strip of medical centers, a lot of times those are actually treated as like condos, right? And so essentially, each suite is its own condominium, right? And so for about $300,000 or $400,000, you could actually own that particular suite that medical office is actually using. Right. So there's another way for you to get in. And so with that medical office, whoever's occupying that medical office would actually be paying you rent. Right. And so you could actually go and get a job there working under that medical doctor who's also paying your salary, but also maybe paying your rent. Right. And so with that, you gotta look for those opportunities. And so we talk about certainly how to during our class, and we have additional sessions that we've started to do to talk about the opportunities to really get into real estate like that. And so while you're working as a healthcare provider, you could also be generating passive income. Right. And so whether you're working at that medical facility or not. Okay. But you got to recognize that in America, everything is for sale. Right. Including buildings, offices, houses, right? And so with that, if there is a big house that's accommodating multiple tenants, and these tenants happen to be, adult care facility, or individuals who, let's say youth who have medical issues or something like that, then why not you own that house? Why not you own that real estate, right? But in addition to that, have a business or your business come in and owner occupy that particular facility. And so this is not a far-fetched thing. This is definitely within your reach. And so if you have any interest in that, then let's talk more about that as well. Okay, and free to reach out to me directly and let's set up a call. Let's set up a time to meet and talk more about that and how you can get involved in those type of opportunities. Okay, we actually just secured a 6 unit complex, and that complex will be used for assisted living. Okay, and so if you're looking for opportunities like that to really serve your community, to really serve your profession, and really be a force for good, right? But in addition to that, have that opportunity to make money while you're doing that, then definitely let's talk more about it. Okay. So reach out to me. Again, 301-960-4950. Okay, and you can definitely reach out to me. But like I said, I have some links below in the bio in the comment section where you can definitely book a call with me, get on the calendar, and let's talk more about the opportunities that exist to take your nursing expertise, right, and your healthcare expertise, and mirror that or join that with your with real estate. Okay, and so there's definitely a lot of opportunities for us in healthcare to do exactly that. So it doesn't have to stop at just getting your RN and then working. Let's actually take that earned income and turn it into passive income through real estate. Okay, and so we talk about healthcare, but now let's also get to that next level. Once you do get past nursing school and all of that, let's talk about wealth care, right? So wealth care, not welfare, but wealth care,
Mhm.
right? And so let's talk about wealth care. And so that's the next level of where you want to get to, because that is the real American dream, to be able to get into passive income and have financial freedom. And so if you're looking for that opportunity to really gain and develop financial freedom through wealth care, right? And so take healthcare and turn it into wealth care, then definitely reach out to me. Love to talk to you more about that and tell you how we can help you there. Okay. All right. So I want to go to conclude there, but thanks a lot for joining in. Definitely feel free to put your comments or your questions in the comment section. If there's a different perspective that you'd like to provide, definitely let me know. But like I said, I've been doing this for quite some time now. I've seen a lot of different pathways that nurses take, and I can tell you definitely doing your prerequisites to the ADN is one of the quickest ways to get directly into the hospital, start making money, and then also save a great deal of money on school. And so if you find value in this, definitely give us a thumbs up, please. Okay, subscribe to the channel. Definitely click that subscribe button, notification, and get notifications when we go live and talk more about these very same topics. But then also let me know if you want to hear more about real
Mhm.
estate and take going from healthcare to wealth care. And so let's talk more about that. Okay, and so if you're looking for the opportunity to really delve into that and dive into that a little bit more, definitely reach out to me. All right. And so thanks a lot. I'm Dr. Brian Atkins. And so we'll see you on the next one. Okay. And so Monday nights at 8 p.m. every single Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So Monday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is when we have our podcast where we talk about topics just like this. And so we'll see you next week for the next one. All right. All right. Remember, healthcare to wealth care. We got it.